Okay, Ms. Williams, Dr. Kicklighter is working on an initiative for us with VAUGHN, which is the Vermont Oxford Network.
Right.
We're in a collaboration with other hospitals.
Okay.
So we're just trying to find out what our parents know or their perception of apnea, Brady's, DSATs, and how the significance or the weight that you put on them. So in your own words, how would you describe an apnea event?
Apnea event, from what I understand, is when it's a period of time when they stop breathing.
Okay. And how about Brady's?
Brady's are when they go below a certain heart rate.
Okay. And how about desaturations?
And that's when, that's the level of oxygen in the blood.
And how do you typically, if you hear the monitor go off, what is your reaction to that?
To look at it.
To look at the monitor?
Yeah, I look at it, and I typically look at, for most of our time here, I would look at the top number, which would be the heart rate, and make sure that number looked okay. And then I'd also look at the, I think it was, the DSAT number, the saturation number. Those are the two that I kind of pay attention to.
And what do you do if you see that the numbers are flashing or alarming? What's your response?
To just watch it and see if it changes. And it looked like the heart rate was going below 100, or the saturation number was going really low. I might talk to my baby. If I'm holding my baby, talk to her, or tap her foot or something, and see if that makes any difference.
Okay. And how do you think how good of a job do you think we've done telling you, like, how to respond, what the numbers mean?
I think that you've done a good job. We've had several different nurses, so we've had different explanations, which were consistent, but it was good to have different explanations, just so, just to get different perspectives on, but you really pay attention to this number, or we really pay attention to that number. And it also helped to hear it multiple times, because maybe the first time someone explained it, I wasn't really paying attention. I was focusing more on my baby, not on the numbers.
Right.
So it was good that different people told us about it at different times.
And has anybody suggested that in an episode, what we would call an episode, to look at your baby to see what they're doing, or how they're reacting, or their color, or anything like that?
Well, they mainly, the way it's been explained to me is the nurse would say, what I do is, when I see it happen this way, not so much this is what you should do, but, when I see that that's happening, I look at her coloring and make sure she still looks pink. I watch and see if the number is rising on its own, and so that's just kind of how I guess it's like conditioned me to do the same thing.
And have you been holding them when they've had episodes, or in the bed? You've been bedside when it's happened?
Yeah, but for us, it has been, they pretty much recover on their own. I haven't really been around when it's gone down and it's been an issue or a problem. I don't think, with our twins, we haven't really had much of a problem with it. So they usually kind of recover on their own, or if I was holding, very early on, if I was holding one or the other, and it looked like their saturation rate was kind of staying below 80 or something like that, they would, the nurses might suggest that we let them kind of rest in their bed, to see if that helps. Maybe it's just overstimulation or something like that. That was very early on. Yeah.
Has anything like that happened while you were feeding them?
Yeah, I've seen her, not to the point where we needed to take a break and put them back, but I've seen when they first started, when I first started feeding them, there were times when the saturation rate would go down, or maybe even the heart rate would go down when they were taking too much in, or just overdoing it a little bit. And then, but I haven't had to. It hasn't been to the point where I've had to put them back in the bed. It's just like what I said before about you just look at them, see if they're recovering. Maybe put them up on the shoulder and rub their back and that sort of thing when they recover.
Has anybody said, talking strictly desaturations, when the desat monitor goes off, has anybody said or explained to you, oh, that's not real, or have you heard that terminology used or something similar?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to lead you.
No, yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I think when, times when I've looked concerned or asked, is that okay? I've heard people use that term, that that's not a real one, that's just, because you got too much, we were feeding and you got too much in her throat, or, I have heard them use the term, that's not a real one, but it's usually in response to me saying, is she okay, or is that okay, or something like that.
Okay, do you have anything you'd like to add about apnea or Brady's, or your perception of them?
No, just that I think that it helped us, or helped me, especially for different people to tell me about it at different times, because like I said before, when we first, our kids came really, really early, so we've been here a while. And when we first got here, I wasn't really focused on the monitors at all. I was more looking at them and focused on them, and so I think the first time it was explained, I really didn't pay attention. My husband paid more attention than I did, and then as I kind of settled into knowing when they were looking like they were relaxed and they were fine, and I was ready to learn about the numbers and know what those meant. So I think it's good to have someone to tell you at different points in time, and I think it's also helpful to have more than one person, a different person tell you, just to get a different type of explanation and to give you a chance to ask questions whenever you're ready to ask questions about it.
And if Ava or Aubrey were getting, excuse me, somebody have that?